It's Leah Remele with gopherprophotos.com, and today I am so excited because I have Amanda Holloway with me, and we are going to be talking about high-end senior photography and how to build an amazing brand that attracts the clients that you dream of. Amanda is a dear friend who I absolutely adore, and am so excited that you're here today. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Oh my goodness,
I've
yes.
been trying to do this for months, and I'm like, yes. The
I know
summer
we've
is
we've
crazy.
totally sucked at getting this on the calendar. We're both so busy that yeah, we've been it took a few tries.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right in. Talk to me a little bit about how you got from, that first time where you're like, I'm going to shoot a senior, to building this amazing brand that can demand such incredible sales and such an incredible just business model for you.
Right. I knew from the beginning that I didn't want to be a volume photographer. I wanted to do something for these girls that really wasn't around then. 4 years ago, it was hard to find a photographer doing, that included professional airbrush makeup, hairstyling, on-location services, 3-hour sessions, and clothing changes, and different things like that. And so I definitely wanted to do that. I knew that where I was in Huntsville couldn't afford what I really wanted to put out there. And so we have a place called the Woodlands, and then it's right next to Houston, of course. And that's a totally different set of seniors. I mean, they're going to the gym before school to keep, their looks the way they get highlights all the time, teeth whitened, manicures, pedicures, facials. Like, it's a totally different breed of market. And I knew that I wanted them. They're awesome girls. They're straight A students. They are involved with their community. They're, with the National Charity League. And I had been a juvenile probation officer working with the complete opposite, with girls who weren't going to graduate high school and who were having some major problems at home and things like that. And I think the switch, it kind of balanced my life. Here I saw all negative, terrible, this and this and this. And then here I got to work on the weekend when I was a juvenile probationer and a photographer at the same time. I got to work with these girls who were, really doing things for themselves. And it was a nice balance. And then I liked it more and more and more. And these are great girls. They're great girls and I love them. And so I wanted a brand that they were comfortable coming to.
So how far away is the market that you're trying to connect with versus where you live? What's the distance there?
About an hour.
Okay, I wanted to point that out because I keep hearing things you're saying, and I can already hear what photographers are going to say, yeah, but I can't because. And so I wanted to bring that up because same thing for me. I just moved to the Seattle area, but when I was first opening my business, I was in Vancouver, Washington. My whole client base was in Portland, Oregon. Everyone was about 45 minutes to an hour away. And, of course, it would be so convenient if you could just go 2 minutes down the road and that's where they were. But we have to find that right marketplace to be able to attract who we really want to attract. So, okay, I really wanted to ask you that and kind of give that little scenario. Okay, so tell us about building the brand. What tidbits can you give about truly building a brand that brings in the kind of clients, the kind of seniors that you were like, hey, I know this is who I want to reach. How do you get there?
So I started noticing that, again, my seniors down there were very different from my seniors up here. I mean, like my seniors here where I live would bring t-shirts and jeans and be like, I'm ready for my session. And then my girls down there would bring clothing bags with all of their stuff dry cleaned and pressed. And I was like, this is what I want to work with. It was just different for me. And so I started paying attention to what brands they were using. Michael Kors, Louis Vuitton, all different kinds of things like that. What kind of cars were their parents driving? What kind of, where were they vacationing? Things like that. And it was definitely a higher end. So I knew that I needed to step up my game. I love these girls and I wanted to continue working with them and make myself a brand that they were proud. And now it's become a status symbol. If you go to Amanda Holloway, holy heck, you got it going on, which is good, and that's what I wanted. Because again, I love working with these girls and I don't want them to be embarrassed about coming to me or be like, oh, well, you know, I had to go to her. No, I want them to be a total choice. So I really started building a brand based on that knowledge. What are they driving? Where are they going on vacation? What stores are they shopping at? And looking at those companies and seeing some really, oh my God, I can't even think. In common. God, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
There are some very common qualities and factors. Very high end. We serve you. We customize everything to you. And I was like, okay, here we go. Let's do this. And so that's why I really, you know, wanted to create a brand that, you know, in the beginning, I was going to their homes and doing ordering sessions. You don't have to get out of bed. I will come right, you know, you don't have to leave your house. I come to you and I do this and this and that. And I was really able to serve them that way. And now that I'm farther in my journey and, you know, career in this, I have started to be able to invest a lot in the business and in the brand and have turned my brand and business into something that they are just blown away by, which is crazy because 4 years ago I was blown away by their brands that they were using because I drove my car that my mom bought me when I was 15 until I was 27 years old. So it's not like I was like, oh yeah, here we go. No, I had to really work for it.
So I want to bring up two things. The first thing is that you can build an amazing brand without having to have a studio space. I'm mentioning this because we are going to get to see Amanda's studio in just a couple minutes. But I want to mention this because when I've had studio and I haven't had studio. And when I first built my business, I wanted to build a super high-end luxury brand, and you were doing the exact same thing without studio space, which meant that your brand presence was going to be through your website, through your packaging, and through the way that you conduct yourself and make them feel. Then, as those sales coming in, as you start to build yourself, if having a studio is something that you want, then you can take it to that next step and start bringing that brand to life in a very real, tangible, well, it's real and tangible the other way too, but I mean, I can have the sales that I do and build the brand that I have built, and I'm doing it all from my home office, and they never see any of that because I'm doing the all on location, going to their house like you mentioned, and for me, because I shoot so little because of Gopher Pro, that works fantastic. You've been able to take that and then build it up and make it bigger and build this amazing studio space and all the other things you've done. So I feel like I want to keep taking those things where people are going to say, yeah, but I can't do that. And say, no, yes, you can. It's totally doable.
And that's something that I tell all of my workshop people, and I tell them, you know, don't be intimidated, because I know this can be like, oh my God, I'm never going to get to this part. I never thought I'd be I was like, I never want to quit my juvenile probation job. I'm just going to do photography on the side. Well, things changed. And so I always tell them, like, I do a welcome packet, and it's this amazing, like, you know, 15 pieces and all of these tangible, you can hold and touch and everything. And it's a nice packet that tells you how to do your makeup and what to wear and all this stuff. And I was like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to spend $10 on each packet. You can make a digital welcome packet. You don't feel that you have to go into debt. I tell every single one of my students, don't you dare go into debt for this business, because it will spit you out just as much as it brought you in. So you be smart about it. And you can have the high-end brand and the amazing patterns and the amazing look and face, but you don't have to actually spend the money to do it. You will want to as you go higher and higher in your career, and as you build your brand, but it doesn't have to be that way, so don't feel intimidated.
And I think, you know, what you mentioned about the first thing that you started doing is seeing what brands they're using and use that as your research. These brands have spent hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars doing their brand research, and this is where your prospect, your target client is going, and so you use that to start finding what you want to build for yourself. So, oh, I love that. Okay, so speaking of beautiful, amazing, gorgeous brands and studios, let's take a look at yours, if you don't mind, because it is so amazing.
Okay. So no one has seen it. Everyone's seen pieces and things like that, so I'm really excited. And I hope everything's clean and the way that it needs to be. So I'm going to move you this way and get out of the way. So actually, I'm not going to get out of the way. We'll start a different way. So I'm going to turn you around. What I'm going to do is actually I'll pull you into the hallway so that you could see what it looked like before I got my hands on it. It's an awful office hallway. It should remind you of a prison. So, okay. So this is the hallway. So this is what my office looked like. I had black baseboards, purple doors, trim, really questionable lighting sources. And so when you walk into my office, this is what you see. So this first piece is the waiting room. Right here. Everything from the ceiling tiles, lighting fixtures, I had a sound system put in so that I could play music in the waiting room while I held an ordering session, because you never want people to hear what this worrying about the people in your waiting room hearing what they're spending. So, yeah, it's all gray. We knocked out walls. There was a wall right here. So this is the waiting room. And then this is the hallway. So this is a really great way for me to show canvas collections and sell canvas collections.
So gorgeous.
And there's somebody's order that hasn't picked up for 2 months. Summer, everyone goes on vacation. They're in Rome and in Europe and in Ireland and things like that. And I'm like, okay, that's great. So really quickly, place that we're going to go to is the closet.
My favorite room.
I wanted to do this for my girls. In order to feel special, you know, it takes a lot, and I wanted them to feel special. So that's what this room is all about. So when they walk in, this is what they see. Okay. There we go. And then we'll just do a quick around the room. So I've got, you know, jewelry and shoes. Those are my 5s and 6s over there. And I have dresses all the way from size 0 to size 16. Because I would never want any girl to come in and me not have anything for her. So, and then there's a mirror. But yeah, so it's pretty awesome, and I love it.
Yeah, I would just move in and live there.
Yeah. I mean, I've got dresses from Badgley Mishka. I have some that are, you know, dual as wedding dresses, but they're like they're different mignon dresses. Everything that you could think of. And then I have shoes here. These are my favorite Betsy Johnson shoes. I love them. Yeah. So jewelry, all kinds of stuff. I have shapewear down below just in case anybody wants to wear a little shapewear. So that's that room. And then this room, it's just my shooting room. And it's filled of stuff. So yeah, and then I shoot in my corner right there.
And how much do you shoot indoor versus outdoor?
Every session we do a portion indoor, and then but it's just one portion. Okay. So it's one of her, you know, how many of her outfits. So it's not a lot, because down here in the South, outdoor is huge. Natural light's huge. And in marketing right now, outdoor is huge. A lot of people aren't doing studio. If you look at Free People, right, Anthropology, it's very natural light, or studio light look like natural light. So I do it more, and I'll show you. I do it more for formal looks. So like these are my acrylics. And the studio shots on those look great. And how I sell it is I let them know that most of my families will purchase a formal studio shot in acrylic, and they'll put it in a really great formal part of their home, the entryway, foyer, formal living or dining room, and then they'll get a more natural shot like that on a canvas for a more informal part of their home. That way they have both aspects of their session in the appropriate parts of their homes. Was that all Blair Witchy? Was I like...
No, I'm hoping it'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll find out once we hit done record. No, that was awesome.
Yeah, we'll just put a disclaimer. You need to take a Dramamine.
Yeah. Make sure you take Dramamine right before you watch this video.
Yeah, it'll be okay. But just, take a Dramamine and it'll be fine.
They'll have to be like pausing to try to see a spot and then pause, try to see spots.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's worth it.
Here it is. I felt very like Vanna.
Motion sickness is worth seeing your studio. Well, we're all willing to take it. Okay, so thank you so much. I guess let's just finish up by telling everybody that we are going to have a sweet little freebie for people to download that will give some tips and tricks on helping clients with what to wear, courtesy of the fabulous Amanda Holloway. So make sure you go to the blog post so that you can get access to that. I think that's it. Anything else you want to share?
I don't think so. I think that's good, but I'm excited. So.
Me too. I'm so excited. Okay, well then, what?
Everybody using the basics of what to wear, it'll be exciting. So yeah.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you can find out, we'll have links for taking it even further and just all kinds of good stuff. So make sure you go to the blog post on goforprophotos.com. Okay, so thank you, Amanda, for being with me today and being just so willing to share. One of the reasons that I love this girl is that the first time we met and we sat down, we met at WPPI, and we went to lunch after she got done speaking, and it was Kelly, France, Amanda, and I, and we sat for hours and
crying,
I know, bawling in a restaurant, because that's totally normal. But just, we were so instantly real with each other. And those are the kind of people, like, when you just get to be with people who are so genuine and real, and they're just like, here's who I am, flaws and all. Yes, there are so many amazing things about Amanda, but she has struggles and trials just like everybody else. And we all do. And just getting to have this real conversation, and I mean, the second that we started talking, I'm like, I love this girl. She's fantastic. And so I'm so glad that you guys are all getting to know her even better, and getting to see inside the studio and just more about her business. And thank you for being so willing to share and just give of yourself and what you've done and help the community. Okay, remember, we carry our cameras to create, but we created our businesses to thrive. So don't just survive, thrive. Until next time, thank you so much for being with us.